Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition. If you're wondering what happened was, and I'll tell you what happened. We ended up doing a quest for these guys. Guys are the warriors of the Galaphians. What happened was, when I recorded the video, it decided that it did not want to record my voice. Instead, it was going like squeaking. So I lost 25 minutes of action-packed footage for this episode. We ended up getting poison to give to the leader to try and silently take him out. But we ended up failing that, and we failed the check, and ended up having to kill everyone, including the quest giver who gave us the quest to begin with. Anyways, let's hop to it. I'm a little pissed. Alright. Alright. So we basically just took out the Star took whatever, the Stellgazer guys, and now we're gonna go do the main quest. I'm so disappointed. That was amazing footage. Alright. Yeah, we ended up getting the poison from the Golden Grove over here. So, you know, I'll go show you what it looks like, since you guys missed it. We ended up getting the poison from this person right here, Belitha. No, it's basically the hippie type of people. So now we're gonna go see what else we can do. Man, that freaking sucks. I'm still very upset about that. Uh-oh.
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara Extensios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
You honor me, Grand Inquisitor.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now. We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
How would we reach her?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
But how would we get Avor to move to Oceanus?
You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Interesting. Alright, we're gonna save, but we're not gonna erase that. We'll erase this one. That way, if it doesn't record again, I can redo this. It should record this time, though. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to invest in a new fucking mic. I am mad pissed. Okay. Uh-oh. Two identical women seem to fade into view as they move away from the great trees that camouflage them. Their skin is tree bark, rigid and scaly, weathered in curly triangles of roots and buds and blooms. Their hair hangs beneath the shade of shivered leaves like drooping branches from elms above, and the pupils of their eyes are enriched with hundreds or even thousands of concentric rings as if to mark accumulated wisdom of a millennia. One of them extends a snarl of roots towards you that snake and twist together to form something like an open palm. Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms. The other one stares at you, unblinking, as her frown deepens. Her face creaks. Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar. An ancient soul like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fail her and be troubled no more. It would pay the debt of her predecessor. So it would, Rena. But we must not hasten the judgment. I see different motives here, different questions in these eyes. What of it, young trespasser? Is this my sister say, or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds? I seek the man who came through here. Sounds as though you have already met him. There, by her own admission, Shadow. Really, sister, and you wonder why your leaves begin to fall out before midsummer. Rena opens her mouth to respond, but all that escaped her is knotted lisps and exaggerated sigh. Clearly, the man did not want to be followed. Whatever the relationship here, I suspect it's anything but cordial. Shada turns to face you. The answer is yes, old one. We crossed paths with Thaus not long ago, and we can tell you where he went, but I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we were to help you find him, we would know why. Stopping him might end the Warden's legacy. So this is the reason he passed this way. This is low, even for the Laden Key. I told you we should have confronted him, Sadia. He always been a poison. He would have been the last thing we ever did, sister. Who could be said to have gotten the better of Thaus? Yes, but imagine how fun it would be to have been. Can't you just picture him all strung up in vines like an angry little puppet? Shida glances over at you. Her expression changes, as though seeing you for the first time. But that's not what this is really about, is it? You're bound to that man. I see it now. You're awakened. Your soul is awake, and something once buried deep now dwells to the surface. The past overwhelms the present. Close in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end. I need to get to Thaus. I'm sorry to tell you this, but Thaus cannot give you what you seek, nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone. What she means, I thought Merweld said. Alok's face was rigid. This is permanent? What? Kana glasses you. But that cannot be. Right after everything, there must be something else we can ask. Sagani glazed faces you. I am sorry. Durance. We did not come down this road together to be refused passage by a pair of talking saplings. So this has all been for nothing. I'm going to lose my mind. The soul is formless without past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away? That or kill the man who brought it up. He is beyond forgiveness, for his deeds are beyond repair. Is that so? It would seem the way to me as well, but if that is true, then the two of you may be connected more closely than you realize. However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from the awakening, there may be yet a way forward. Would you agree, Shida? I would. Were there not so likely to end in death? Death may be preferable for what lies in store for me. It may, but not all deaths are alike, and the man you pursue is versed in thousands of them. The man Thaus you already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is, I cannot see any more than you, and without that knowledge, your doom is certain. But were you to learn the source of his discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to an end. My past comes to me in pieces. How do I unlock the rest? You might wait for it to come on its own, of course, but when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition. Or you can learn from it from someone who already knows. Thaus, what he remembers? It is said the gods made his memories perfect, that he may forget his charge if he knew he still does. Not that he would tell you, of course. You have followed the right person for the wrong reasons, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms, the soul dragging the mind's body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Thaos Pass many times in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you the way. The only thing that is certain is you did not find what you sought. You said you know where he went. Son of Thaz, causing leaves to shuffle against one another. He has gone beneath the tower, to a place older than we, where people of Entogwynth once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, sun and shadow. He may stay down there and rot with the remains of his people. He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came. That's much certain. He opened a secret path in the tower base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means. Is there another way to get to him? We know of one. One on the burial site through the court of penance Brenneth Aaron. A shortcut, in fact. Don't be so cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks is not for the faint of heart. A great pit in the center of a forgotten court where the faith are judged and place for trial. To most, it's a simple gateway to death. With the help of the gods, you can make it where you want to go. I have to jump into the pit? Is this some trick? That's that pit we died in. Oh, sister, if only we had thought to trick Thalos into jumping. No trick, I'm afraid. Though, without the proper preparation, your fall will most certainly kill you. The pit is said to have been a mess of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It's such a way that you must pass to reach the sun and saddle. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem the only gods themselves can grant passage. What is this court? No more than a ruin now. It's older than we, a place of trial for heretics. We were not here to witness it, but one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods. Neither the first nor the last, of course, but they were numerous, and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast in a pit and imprisoned below. The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not meant for people but for their souls. Their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repeat and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends. How could I ever get the gods to help me? Behind us is Tyr Ivern, said to be a peace to shroud itself, a place for communication with all gods. Even if there was time for prayer, you have found it. So the only way to get through this pit is to pray for help. Not the only way, just one that doesn't end with your body impaled in jagged rocks. Who would I pray to? Any god you can, I should think. I'd pray to the first to those gods you like best, and hope for your sake the feeling is shared. How do I pray? Tyrion is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us allegiance to the gods. When the stars are in conjunctions, we know the gods represent our lines as well. You should choose a place to play where you will be closer to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for the gods expect proper homage, and none patience for fools. Farewell. Before you go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him, and what would give you peace? I would return him to the wheel of life. No. I would undo the harm he's caused. You would need to have twice as many lifetimes as he to repair his savage work. But perhaps there are strides you can make. All the same, I think on this matter. Be assertive in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not to this soul, but to yours. And be warned, some questions have answers that can never be learned, and those that trouble the soul above all. May you find the answers. Wow. Alright, we'll save here. Alright, come on, saving. Wow. Okay. What's this? Okay. Oh, that's where he went. Okay, how do we... All stars. We gotta pray to the gods, but it's not letting me. Okay. Okay, how come it's not letting me pray? Let me pause this and find out how. Okay, there's an altar that I gotta grab something from. Alright, we grab that.
I've never seen anything like this. Almost beats the Southern Lights. No response from... So it's one of these gods I gotta go to. Okay, so it's one of these ones I have to go to. We're gonna go with... Alright, let me go to my character real quick. Alright, we're gonna go with this one right here. There is life in death and death in life. There's a rippling shift around you as if unfelt winds change, bringing unexpected warmth. You feel the peculiar weight of an unseen presence and eyes upon you. Ooh. You kneel and pray to your breath. Even while your eyes are closed, you see a road that seems to stretch on forever. The stars wheels overhead in a clockwork procession of constellation, disappearing over the horizon as you left only to rise and fall. You try to make out the detail of either side of the road, but your eyes can't seem to focus. One moment you think you see a metal blanket within the mists and sheer canyon walls. For an instant you see you waping over that world. Were you to step into the shifting landscape, you feel certain you would end up back on the road. You know this is a vision, but the packed dirt feels firm beneath your feet, and the night air cooled your face. You are walking. Your feet seem to carry you forward of their own accord. Something looms ahead of you. As you get close, you see two stone figures that look strangely familiar. Bethwin I Arikin and Uruk I Beren, two of the oldest representatives of breath. You remember the old door to Califrine and the two figures carved in the mountain next to it. One looks vaguely male and the other looks vaguely female. Only a thin layer of flesh covers their skeletal bodies, which twists to face the doorway between them. The doorway, however, is not what you saw in the ruins. It's a skull, gaping jawless, looks onto you, open mouth that seems to grow. The arms of the two stone sculptures swept forward, the mouth inviting you in. Enter the skull's mouth. The road continues through the mouth to another shifting landscape surrounded by the stars. As you pass through, you see the identical doorways in the distance. A dwarven man stands near it, unmoving. You turn and look behind you, only to see the skull gate you just passed facing you. An elven woman awaits in the road, like the dwarf. Approach the elven woman. You start to move towards you. There's something unnatural about the way she stands. She's too still. When you get closer, you see her legs taper into a slender trunk, and in place of her feet are gnarled, twisting roots. She lifts her face to an invisible sun. Long golden hair is the color of autumn leaves, and as you look more closely, you realize that her head is actually covered with tendrils and vines sprouting brilliantly yellow leaves, each glimmering with the essence of an entire soul. As you see the Benedict smile, you look upon the leaves slowly form from the head and settle in the roots. They melt into the path beneath her, and almost immediately new leaves sprout from the place of hope. She reaches towards you, still smiling, roots, fingertips, outstretched arm. Come, graft your soul to the golden grove. 5. Take her hand. The roots twine around your fingers, and as they do, you grow rigid and cold. Outstretched arm petrifies, and rough stone barks over her flesh. You can only look into horror. You break away from the crazy path. Your feet are rooted in place, but she twists and whirls as if trying to free her own dying limbs. The petrification reaches her shoulders and spreads down her body, freezing it in painful arc. It creeps up her neck, and she throws her face skyward like a drowning swimmer. The grayness covers her face, freezing her grasp in stone. Now she's still lifeless. You can continue past her. Only the golden leaves on her head remain untouched, and as you watch, they fall one by one to the path below. Shivering essence fade from them. You lift your gaze and see the dwarven man standing further down the road. Porch to the road. You continue down towards him. Looks upon you as you approach, but you can tell if he's looking at you or through you. His face is smooth but flaccid, as if the flesh has detached from the muscles beneath. You look on. His face begins to change, wrinkled cracks in the corners of his eyes. His mouth stinks, caving deep lines from his nose and the corners of his lips. His jowl sags and the loose flesh hangs down the bill. He raises his cupped hands, covered in blood. He lifts him to his face and smears himself from nearly creased forehead to the rattles of his neck. As his messages the dark, sickly fluid to the skin, the flesh wrinkles disappear. The hanging folds recede and his flesh tightens as if re-adhering to his skull. He lifts his head this time, and you know he's looking at you. His renewed face looks like a mask, artificially smooth and still behind it. His black eyes are two hungry pits, yawning like empty mouths of a skull. Come, make your sacrifice to Edmund. Take his hand. You grasp his hand, but his skin gives too easily and you grip, and you try to pull away. You hear a noise like a death hammer's tearing. His skin splits, following long seams that begin his arms stretching like his body. Blood gushes forth in such quantities that you can't imagine there were anything else. Sure enough, the dwarf empties of blood. He collapses like a desecrated husk. The blood in the path gleams with 1,000 souls worth of essence. The essence of aspiration trailing up fragments into the night sky. Only now that he is dead, you can continue forward. The blood pools around your voice echoes around, barely a whisper in the region. Return them to the wheel. You look up and see the skull gates ahead of you. The candles of tear were breaking through the open night. Leave. Wow. So now I got to end 2 lives. Well, we will call it here, folks. Hopefully this recorded. As always, hit the like button if you like, dislike button if you dislike, subscribe, hit the bell thing so it rings, and I'll see you next time. Hop you later.